So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, learners, and welcome to today's Synergy Sphere session. I hope I'm audible to you all now. And this session is going to be very interesting, interactive, like every other time. Okay, I hope you all missed us because it was the Diwali vacations, and I hope you all enjoyed your Farar, as we call it, right? So, before we dive into this session today, I have something very important to ask you. So I am just going to put the question in chat box as well, and I'm going to ask it here. I want everyone to please respond to it and tell me how you are feeling about or what are your thoughts about the same. Okay? So I've put the question in the chat box. Yes. So how often do you feel like you have the intention but not the structure for planning something? I want everyone to answer quickly. Always. Okay, Sayani. Okay, I see a lot of always. We have sometimes as well. Never. Okay, that's good. Good, Nilesh. Okay, great. So most of us always feel this way. Sakshi says for planning something, for that I'm eager. Yeah, I completely get it, Sakshi. So many a times this happens that, when we are planning something, we have the intention but not the structure, right? And we are going to learn about that today. I have one more question for you. So how often do you feel that you have a clear goal but the path is scattered? I have also put the question in the chat box quickly. Sometimes, okay. Always, sometimes. Okay. So for me, what usually happens is I can see the goal clearly, but a lot of times I end up, not planning it in a certain way, leading to not achieving it. Or even though I achieve it, the path becomes a bit, scary for me. And I think many of us goes through the same, right? And here goes my last question for you. Please respond to the poll question. Yes. How many times have you told yourself, I'll plan better from tomorrow? Exactly, Kalyani. Even though I plan, but path scattered. I completely get it. Okay. Quite often, right? Sometimes, often. I see 0% on never, which shows how human we all are, right? So we always tend to tell that we will plan better from tomorrow, but the guidance that we need to plan lacks a lot of times, right? So today's session is going to be something about the same, right? If this sounds familiar to you, you are not alone. In today's fast paced world, planning is no longer just an academic skill, it is your biggest competitive advantage, right? That's exactly why today's session is so meaningful. We have joined, we have made, we have invited Tanvi ma'am to join with us today. So Tanvi ma'am is a finance head in Digitech industry, a seasonal expert in finance, accounts and taxation, and a proud MIT SDE alumna. With over 8 plus years of hands on experience, she has mastered the ability to turn complex goals into clear, actionable plans, something every learner and professional today needs, right? So, in today's session, we are going to discover multiple things, but something that is very important that will stick to us is how to build a planning system that works best for you. So, by the end of this session, you'll walk away with practical, immediate, applicable strategies that can reshape your academic, your work, and your personal growth. So, I invite you to be present fully. Stay curious and reflect deeply. You can keep your notepads with you. You can keep everything handy so that you can ask as many questions as you want, and make sure that while asking questions, you also think about your other classmates so they also get an opportunity to ask questions, right? So I request Tanvi ma'am to please come in as I'll be asking a few questions to her.
Hi, Charulata. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am, and good morning to you from all our learners.
Good morning, all the learners. I hope you're
Yes,
all doing well and curious to get to this session.
definitely.
Yeah.
So I think many of us has also seen you earlier as well. So okay,
Yeah.
yes. So before we start and dive into the session, I wanted to ask a few questions to you because all of our learners are usually curious about knowing our speaker.
Yeah.
So let's start. Can you tell us more about yourself, your educational background?
Yeah. So basically, I'm a finance student. I have completed my bachelor's, I've completed my master's in commerce, and the dual specialization from MIT SDE, a PGDM holder from this STEAM institution, and along with it, I was a CA student as well. But unfortunately I dropped my CA and CA final. But still, it's a good academic journey I've been through, and as on date, I am need to pursue some other academic courses as well. So this is all my my academic background. That I'm a purely a commerce person, a finance person.
That is awesome. I mean, seeing people who come from finance and, sharing the knowledge, it usually becomes very fun for most of us, right?
Yeah,
Learners? Yes. Okay. So I also wanted to know about your career. Can you tell us where you work, what is going on?
yeah. So it's like I started my career as a CA article. I learned as in all the details regarding to the CA profile. I was into taxation. I was into audits, and then I switched to the biggest MNC in India. I think you all might have been knowing Hindustan Zinc Limited. I was working as a team member in secretariat and legal services, and then coming forward, I was just in taxation executive looking for all the audits. I have done my bank audits. I've done the biggest bank audit here in India. It's State Bank of India, and then currently have joined a digital marketing agency. It's a digitech industry where I am heading the finance, leading the finance, and with the time, I'll be just exploring more into my career to get the finance into various profiles as well. It's not limited to accounts, taxation, and compliance. It's more. Finance is nothing, and it's my goal to go more deep into this finance.
Wow. Okay, that sounds like a huge vision for you. And
And
we are,
also, I
yes.
am a freelancer as well. I just have my small startup of providing freelancing services related to taxation, business consultancy. So this is all my working profile.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that sounds really good. I mean, you have a lot of skills, I can say, right?
yeah,
And a lot going on. That's really
yeah,
good to know. Thank you so much for sharing that,
yeah.
ma'am. Can you tell us about your family background?
So I have a nuclear family. We are just four-person in the family: my mother, my father, my younger brother. And my father is a businessman, and my mother is a homemaker. And my brother is pursuing company secretary, along with he has completed masters in business management. This he is an MBA from Udaipur esteemed college. So I have a small family working together, working for more achievements. That's it.
Really good.
Yeah,
I think family is something that helps us achieve our goals. Really
yeah,
good to know that.
yeah,
Yes, so like we ask this question to everyone because this helps our learners to, feel motivated.
yeah.
I wanted to know your experience with MITSD so far.
So like MIT, as the date I joined MIT, I was very curious that I'm going to go with the big, like it's a big institute here in India. Everyone knows MIT, and I was very curious And as soon as I started my journey with MIT, it was like I got some great study modules. I got some great interactive sessions with the professors, with the mentors there. So there were various things. I was just very obliged कि I got this opportunity. And as soon as I completed it, the journey was very seamless, very satisfactory. And as soon as I completed my journey, it was with a great numbers. That's it. And along with it, I just got a great platform to mentor, to give the wisdom, just to pass on to my juniors. And as on date, I've got the biggest platform, Synergy Sphere, to speak in front and to make the learners gain more wisdom through my knowledge. And it's a truly an amazing, inspiring journey. I hope every learner here just see MIT as a great institution providing great platforms to everyone. And it's a very helpful team we have here in MIT, Charulata, Tripti. And before also I was having interaction with certain persons there in MIT. You guys did it very well, and just happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing, ma'am. By the way, learners, ma'am is also a mentor. She is mentoring for MOCS, and now that she's here, we are going to learn a lot of things from her. Yes. So, ma'am, I also wanted to know any upcoming trend or something that you would like to share with our learners for your industry.
Yeah. So the upcoming trend is all about automation and AI. As I think Charlotte, you also might be knowing, and all the learners might be knowing that AI is growing with a very fast pace. And as soon as we inculcate AI into us, it is the biggest growth opportunity for every professional. If it's not AI, it's not just in IT. AI is in every sector. It is in every era of this professional journey. So this is the biggest trend. I would request every learner to have the hands-on AI as soon as you can, and the automations as well. So India is also growing fast with the AI. We were back from other countries, but still we have time to make our stand in this world, in this AI journey.
Definitely. Definitely, ma'am. And I think AI, like you said, is one of the most trendiest thing going on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that all our learners are trying to get it handy as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yes. So, because what we are going to learn today has the power to transform how we think, how we plan, and how we perform, let's begin this journey towards clearer goal, structured action, and smarter planning. Thank you so much for answering all the questions, ma'am. And over to you.
Hi, Charvita. Is my screen visible to you?
Not yet, ma'am.
Not yet. Is
Yes,
my
now it is, yes,
Yeah.
being shared.
Okay. So before I start, so once again, good morning, everyone. I hope you all are very well. I'm very much curious and excited to go on to this journey of planning. So before I start, I was just asked two, 3% here that what do they think about planning is, and how do they see this word planning? I would ask two to three speakers, learners to just unmute themselves and just let me know ki, what is their perspective about planning.
Learners, you can raise your hand and we will allow to unmute quickly, like I said earlier. Or you can definitely put the responses in the chat box. What do you think is learning? Yes, Kalyani, would you want to share?
Is there
Okay,
anyone?
we have the responses in chat box, ma'am. So Sakshi says planning is something we can decide in advance. Okay. Yes. Harsh says to execute something timely within budget and successfully. Anyone
Very
wants to unmute, you know, and speak? Please raise your hand.
I think Kalyani wants to speak. She has raised.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yeah, regarding planning, yeah, in day-to-day life, we need to plan every task in office, in home as well. I'm one of the working professional, so I need to plan from being timing from time to task. So I need to plan everything. Minute, 10 minute, second and second, I need to plan so that I can manage all my tasks in office also, in home also, so that I can have my time and be in that zone and not so much exhausted by doing this work. So these are my view regarding planning, and I am very much uh, in for of planning. So for minute changes and minute terms which I have to look forward to any
Mm,
kind of a work or any kind of a task.
mm.
So this is my view point of view for planning. Yeah.
Very correct. Very correct. Like as you mentioned, the planning is from the homework as to the office work. So it's a very vast term. It's not just a word having 8 letters. It's a biggest. It means a big. So as Kalyani mentioned that she plans for the homeworks as well and along with the office work. So planning is everywhere. We cannot like escape planning and just go on. So let me start with my presentation. So as you can see the heading, a planning, a route and a must. So it's like planning is not just the word, it just contain it's a very wide term and we all need to have this in our every task, in our every era of working, be it in our office, be it in our personal life, be it in our family life. The planning is a very vast term and it's a root. It starts, as you have seen, a tree starts from a root. A tree grows big from a root. So, planning is a root. It starts at the inception and it helps you to grow big, big, big and just explore and just expand your wings. And it is a must as well because without planning you will all be like in a chaos. You will not be able to complete your task or you'll not be able to achieve what you have wished for, be it in your personal life or be it in your work life. It's a most important thing that you all should have in your life. So what planning helps, planning gives us the clarity, it provides the direction, it provides high impact execution. It helps to execute the things in a very smooth seamless way and it even helps to deliver a great results. So this is a backdrop of planning. Planning is just I would just say this is a route. This is just a start, and when the start is good, everything goes good. Is Do anyone have other opinions regarding planning to start the other things before I start any other things? Do anyone have a word or any phrase to add on here? Mohammed Shahnawaz raised the hand. Charulata, you just might can unmute her.
Yes. Just a moment. Yes. Shanawaz, you can unmute yourself now.
I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible. Yes, Shahnawaz, you may just speak up what you have, any other phrase regarding this or any backdrop you have regarding this. Shahnawaz, am I audible?
Okay, if you're not able to unmute yourself, Shanawaz, you can.
Yeah, hello. I'm audible to you?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, you're audible.
Okay, right. So, my point of concern is I belongs to project department basically. So,
Yeah.
if my planning is strong, A to Z planning need to be done in advance. If the
Mm-hmm.
planning related to material procurement, related to costing, related to resources, I mean manpower moment, material procurement, everything. If in advance we have done planning, then project should be complete within time and within budget, and it will
Yeah,
be success.
yeah,
So we should plan in a better way in
yeah,
advance. This is very important.
yeah. Very correct. So, as I said, the planning is just a start. It is at the start point of anything, be it
Yeah,
in any kind of a sector, any kind of your life. The planning is just a start point. It's just a kick start. Very
yeah,
great. Very great. Yeah. Let me go to the next slide and just let you all know what planning is all about.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, why planning is essential? This is the biggest question, that why planning is essential in your life. Like, planning is the thing which turns your goals, your ambitions into an achievable outcome. Like, if you don't have a plan, I think all the things would be mishap, all the things would be in a chaos. I think there would be something which would be overlapping each other. You will not be able to manage your things. So, what planning helps us, it helps that if we do have a goal, like I have a goal that I need to learn this topic today, so I need to complete this paragraph today. So what I'll plan, like 2 lines I'll be studying in 1 minute, 2 lines in the next 2 minutes, and 2 lines in the next 3 minutes. So this is the way we plan. So my goal is to complete this paragraph and learn this paragraph. And how what planning helps me, it helps me to complete that task in that specified time, and it provides me the roadmap that how can I go with this, how can I go to my goal, how can I achieve my goal. So planning matters because it turns your ambitions into an achievable outcome. If like sometimes we feel like, yeah, this goal is very big to achieve, I think we won't be able to achieve. Everyone might have these questions that, okay, this is my goal, this is my dream, but how can I achieve would I be able to achieve this goal or not? So this questions always pops up in our mind. But what planning helps us is provides a roadmap. It provides clarity that how can we go on to this goal, how can we achieve this goal. So this is where the planning takes place. And it aligns, the second thing what planning does, the planning does all the it aligns all the things in one direction. Like, if you have 3 team members doing a certain task, a task is something that has to be completed by the team. So you have 3 team members. So what, every team member would be having their own perspective, having their own way of doing work. What planning does, planning have the same, have the single goal. That single goal has to be achieved. And once we plan in advance, every team member know ki what's their task is, what's their aim is, what's their roadmap is. So what planning helps, it helps in team alignment. And what it also helps, it eliminates confusion. Once we plan, every task is segregated, that this person has to do this task and the second one has to do this task. So it eliminates confusion, and everyone is like focused towards working on the same direction, on the same vision. The vision, it makes the vision clear, it makes the roadmap clear, that how will we going to this goals. So here where the planning is very important. Next to is, like, we have been given a task. Okay, everyone, if you do have any questions in between, you can just raise your hand and just I'll stop and just have your question to be aligned. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead, ma'am.
So the next one, what am I talking about? We need to have a task done. So we have various resources, like as in work life, we have laptops. When we require to do a task, we have like laptops, we have human resource, we have documents and everything. So these are all the resources. And what planning does, planning helps us to allocate the resource where it is required. It optimizes that how the resource can be used, how the budgets can be used, and how we can achieve the goal with a better utilization of every resources so that no resources is wasted. All the resources are optimally used and distributed as and when required. So this is where planning helps us a lot. And fourth one, the planning reduces the risk as well. Like when we do a task, when we plan it in a very better way, in a very good way, so like there might be some challenges, like some obstacles or some hurdles that would be coming onto our path. So what planning helps us here, planning helps us here what all challenges we can face while completing this task, or what all things that could come in between that would hamper our vision or hamper us to move towards the same goal. So this here planning helps, like it reduces the risk because we anticipate all the challenges that this might come during this roadmap. So we plan it in advance. So this is where planning, it's very important that it reduces risk. And what last impact the planning has, this is not the just a brief, it's like improved outcomes, the outcomes which we are desiring, which we are expecting that this should be the outcome. So that goes in a very good way. Our outcome is improved, our delivery speed is improved while we have planned. So this is where where the planning goes very well, and planning helps us a lot. And even we do have a task where we need to maintain some quality standards in our office as well. So improved outcomes is just because of the planning. And if we don't plan, we'll not be able to give our deliverables in a proper, in a standardized, or in a quality way. So is anyone having a question on this slide or to the explanation which I have given to you? Or anyone have some other opinion that where planning can help us? Any add-on thing where planning helps us can be accepted and can be taken forward to the other learners as well. Okay. And even planning helps us to work very faster. Our execution becomes very fast. Our execution, like it goes very fast that this task is done. So let's move on to the other tasks. I think Sachin has put a phrase here for risk reduction, plan A, plan B, plan C. Yeah. So we need to have plan A, plan B, as mentioned, like if any obstacle comes, so we'll just be having a modification and the plan, and we'll be just moving to the plan B. So this is all very correct, that risk reduction can be through various alternative plannings as well. But planning is not just a start. It has to be modified as and when the challenges come, as and when the obstacles come, and they have to be anticipated in advance so that so that plans can be modified accordingly. We do have other question in the chat box. I think this is what are risk analysis needed to consider? One second. What are the risks needed to consider? So, one second. So, risk analysis that we need to consider is like, for example, I would say that I need to have my audits of the books of accounts completed. Okay, this is just an example. So, what I can be like, yeah, I would be given some ad hoc task. There would be certain government checks on me. there would be certain government establishment who would be coming and who would be like asking me certain questions. So I have a timeline to complete my audit task in 30 days. Okay. So what I'll plan that that if my audit task is not completed, I would be imposed with a penalty. So here what I'll do, like I would be providing with some spare time, that if this time is allocated to some government agency or government official who will be coming to an audit, so what I'll be having a backup time. Like I have planned in such a way that I get some spare time, that if certain uncertainties align, so I can just accommodate it in my thing. And the second example, if I tell in the general life, that if I plan that I need to go to Ladakh, okay, and what if the snowfall starts, landslide starts, what I'll do? I'll just be like, I'll go there, and if I find that this is the thing, that any landslides or anything is there, so I'll just be having my safety things there so that my life don't hamper. So this is where we reduces the risk. So I've given both the examples in the personal life as well and in the professional life as well. I think we can move forward with the next slide. I think everyone is clear with this thing. Charulata, do we have any other questions in the chat box?
Yes, ma'am, but you can continue. Learners, we will be taking the questions shortly again. Yes.
Now, this next slide is about what planning really helps us to achieve. Like when we plan in advance, it creates schedules. It's about building a strategic framework. We decide a framework in advance that guides us from concept to completion. It's like it is the basic thing which guide us to execute our task, to complete our task. And how planning really achieves, it's by roadmap creations. So it's like define what has to happen and why it has to happen and when it is due to happen and how it will be executed. So this is where planning helps. So it's like it create a roadmap of why, what. One second now. It's like it's create the roadmap that where we need to have why this, what needs to be happen, what is the task, and why this task has to be done, and when it has to be done, how it has to be executed. This is where planning helps us. It's create the roadmap. And then second, the planning helps that we have a vision. And I mean, with the help of planning, we can convert that vision into action. We can draft an action plan into this, and then there where the team can step up and just have their vision completed through their actions. Now, what planning helps us, it helps the early detection. As in the previous slide, we have already discussed that planning helps us to detect any kind of risk that would come, any type of obstacle that would come in the path before the delivery. So this is where the planning helps us. It helps in roadmap creation, it helps in vision, converting the vision to action. And third one is the early detection of any kind of obstacles, any kind of hamper that would be created during the roadmap. Then next to is cross-functional accountability. Like when do we plan? When we plan, like we have different departments. As in an organization, in a corporate, we have finance, we have HR, we have operations, we have execution. These are the different departments, and when we have a common shared vision to build in a revenue, and then next what we have, uh like we have a shared vision, we have a common roadmap to go to that vision. So now when we have drafted a roadmap in an initial way, everyone knows that where they are responsible, where they need to take in, where they need to where they need to come in between, and where their task is aligned to happen. So this is where planning helps. Every function knows their responsibility, every function knows their task when we do planning in advance. And last one is the predictable performance. Like what planning helps us, like planning is like will be it helps us to create a predictable performance, that this performance has to happen, this performance will definitely happen with this planning roadmap, with this planning framework. So this is where planning helps us to really achieve. I would just give a brief here, like what planning, to conclude this slide I would just give, like planning helps in the roadmap or the framework creation. It helps us to draft a vision to the action, and then next it helps us to early detections of any kind of obstacles, any kind of hamper that will be created in the path. And every function is aligned with the planning roadmap, and every function has their own responsibilities and has their own and has their own task in hand. And then what planning finally helps us achieve, it helps us to achieve the predictable performance, that whatever the performance, whatever the things we are desiring, it helps us to achieve that thing. I think, Charita, can we have certain questions here in this thing, in this slide? Because this would help us get more attractive.
Definitely, ma'am.
Yeah.
Learners, any question?
Learners, do we have any questions?
Quick, if anyone, or else we are ready to move ahead. Clear. Okay. Thank you, Krishna.
Do we have any questions? Charita, just you can just read out from the
Yes,
chat box.
Sakshi is asking for an explanation of fourth point, which is cross-functional accountability, ma'am.
Yeah. So like there's a certain task where one second, I'm just can I just mute myself and just be in a while?
Sure, ma'am. Learners, I guess there's an urgent call that ma'am is receiving. I hope that we'll be considerate about it. So in the meanwhile, if anyone would want to ask any question or respond to anything at all, Sakshi ma'am will be answering your question quickly in a while. Okay. So yes. So in the meanwhile, when ma'am comes back today, I just wanted to mention that if you also want to be a speaker at Synergy Sphere, you can always come in. I'll be sharing the form shortly. Please fill it out. The criteria is, minimum 5+ years of experience, and you can share your knowledge with your classmates. Yes. Thank you so much for that. I see the questions popping in. Yash, ma'am will be answering shortly. Okay, so in the meanwhile, I would like to know your thoughts on, like any point that stayed with you so far in one word, maybe? Okay, Ravi, this is a Synergy Sphere session. So this is a platform where your uh, classmates come and share their knowledge with you. Like, if someone has more experience, they come in and they share their knowledge. These are just your classmates. Tanvi ma'am is an alumnus. So she was a student earlier of MIT Currently, she's also a mentor. And this is what the session is about. She's teaching us how to plan effectively. Thank you. Okay. So I'm waiting for the answers. Any one word that stood out with you so far, stick to you?
Hello, sorry for this interruption.
It's okay, ma'am.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay. So I guess we are learning a lot of things from ma'am. So, when someone gets to a point where they, in their career, in their life, and when they share all those learnings with us, it helps us to build a better career, right? And I guess planning is something that we are going to learn because we also want to achieve our goals, right? And ma'am here is sharing a really good pointers, I believe, because a lot of things are new for me as well. So I want you all to share your thoughts. I'm waiting. Maybe Yash, Sakshi, even Ravi. Yes, Srivardhan. Yes, Sabrina. Please go ahead.
Hello, good morning, madam.
Good morning,
Yeah,
Sabrina.
very interesting session. Say about in our day-to-day life. In fact, we do planning to some extent, and then we execute and see, in fact, the progress. But when it comes to strategic planning, it's always, in fact, very thrilled and excited to know more about it because for one simple reason, today market, in fact, it's dynamic and everybody in fact look for quick results and the challenges we face a lot of challenges in ongoing in fact in every day is our profession so to keep moving and then of course to
Definitely.
bring in the making the changes in fact the dynamism is really in fact it's a one thing in fact where in fact that continue innovation is very much required and we are also of course looking for more and more such informations so this I would say in fact see when it comes to the planning the
Hmm.
milestone meeting is becoming a big challenge today
Definitely.
so wherein really in fact see we also put our thought process when we hearing this kind of information from the experts so really it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Sabrina.
My pleasure.
Any incident that you would want to share in the meanwhile, where something like this helped you, like, you wanted to plan something, and
Mhm.
any point that we understood so far, we read so far through the PPT that ma'am shared, any
Yeah,
point that you used and it helped you.
yeah, see, very important is in fact in our management. In fact, we may have to do multiple tasking. And when it comes to multiple tasking, the critical path method, what we are now seeing here, which is really, in fact, it's a very good technique, I would say, help us, in fact, to make our vision clear and then make a very scientific approach going forward. That's one thing. In fact, it's my learning, and then I wanted to implement it. See it coming.
Thank you. Wow. Very nicely explained.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, excuse me, yeah, like sorry for this interruption. So, let me start over with. So, this is the slide where we have ended. Now, let me move forward with the next slide. Charlotte, can I move forward, or do you have
Yes,
any?
yes. We have questions in the chat box, ma'am.
Yeah,
Quickly, maybe you can take those and then we move ahead. Just two questions, maybe.
yeah. So, like, I think this was the question mentioned by
Thank you for
Sakshi, which I answered.
considering. Yes. Yes,
Which I
please.
answered the last. Uh, Nilesh, here it is not a mention of word technology adoption as an element in planning.
Ma'am, maybe you can take Sakshi's question since she was waiting,
Yeah.
right? So she needs an explanation of fourth point from the previous slide.
Mm-hmm. 1 second. The fourth point is the cross-functional accountability. It's
Yes.
like every function is aligned with what all things they have to be done. We make a plan like we need to do, we have a plan of building a 1 CR revenue for our company. So everyone has their one vision, and what we have planned, what the roadmap we have planned, that we'll be pitching the sales team would be generating the leads, and then the leads would be converted by the business development team, and after which the leads would be converted and we'll be assigning an account managers or an operations team that would be looking for the client operations part and execution part. And the next one, it's related to the HR, human resource. We have human resource function, we have finance function. So everyone would be like, yeah, this client is coming and this is the 1 crore vision, so we need to have number of employees in place. So HR would be of perspective, so like ki yaar, this many numbers would be required to handle this client. So he or she will be hiring on that basis. So HR knows his function, that he needs to deploy the employees there in organization to execute that task. The next,
Yes.
the operations part would be like how operations would give HR the numbers at this. So this is the task, and this would require that much bandwidth. And the operations would even arrange that what all tools they would require, what all resources they would require, laptops, any kind of documents, any kind of pre-planning. There where the operations was looking. Then next to is the finance function. The finance function would be looking over at how the contracting would go, how the how the invoicing would be done, how the payments would flow. So this is where every department, sales would know okay, when they need to bring the client to and there this is where every department would be like, yeah, this is my vision, and I need to have the things done aligned according to the moving framework. That once the sales team ने लीड ले आया, सेल्स टीम उसको फिर डेवलप करेगी बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट के थ्रू. सो दिस इज वेयर एवरी फंक्शन इज अकाउंटेबल टू ईच एंड एवरी function there in the organization. Sakshi, do you have any other questions related to this point? I think I've explained it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So, yes, we will be explaining in a slower pace,
Yeah.
definitely. So, just one question that Krishna has asked. Can you suggest something that what things are to be considered for planning to get a new job?
To get a new job, it's like what kind of interest do you have? Where do you see yourself? So these are the first question that you need to answer yourself. So this is the thing that I need to uh, ask myself first, that what are my vision, how much remuneration I do want, what my lifestyle has to be in future. So this is where the planning takes in place, that this is my vision and I need to achieve. So like I would mention an example, like I just want to become a CFO. This is your new job you want to go. So I would be like, first I would be just plan making that, do I have the question I would be asking myself, do I have the expertise, do I have the years on experience, do I have all the resources available with me to become a CFO. So, and then how would I move forward? For becoming a CFO, you need to go from an associate position to the executive, then executive plus, and then to the CFO. So this is where the planning starts. So you'll be starting the job, like if you have started a career like today, and you see from 10 years from now, you see as yourself as a CFO. So you will be like, 2 years I'll be doing the job as an associate in this profile, and then after which I'll be switching to the executive and then the manager. So this is the plan you need to make for this job profile as well. And accordingly, your CVs has to be amended, your CVs has to have all those things that are required for your dream job. This is where you plan for your new job.
Thank you so much for explaining that, ma'am. I think we can move ahead with the next slide.
Yeah. So like talking about the planning methodologies, like different projects require different approaches. It's not the planning can be same, but planning cannot be same everywhere. There are different kinds of methodologies we need to use, and we need to be flexible in this. So there is no one size fits for all. Like everything require different fit size is there for different kinds of thing, and different projects demands different methodologies. No two projects can be working on the same methodology. So like we have three kinds of methodology in planning. One is the waterfall, the second one is the agile, and the third one is the hybrid. And where waterfall would help us best, it when the scope is fixed, the scope is limited, and the process is structured. Like I would just mention an example that the scope is to get an to get the accounting entry done. So just taking a small example here, I know this entry has to be done. So accounting entry has a specified structure and how this entry has to be done, and just a single entry has to be passed. So there where the waterfall strategy would come in, and like the scope is very bounded, it's very definite. You are not to modify according to the changes. So waterfall methodology would help us where the scope is very limited, uh very fixed and very structured scope when we do have, and we all the things are produced in advance, and documentation is done in pre. So there where the waterfall methodology can help. The next methodology where is agile. So it's a flexible kind of a methodology. Agile is the methodology where like things gonna change at a very fast pace, the things gonna evolve, and there are various frequent feedback that would be given during the process. There where the agile methodology would help us. So like this is the methodology which encompasses more risk reductions, which help us to find out the more find out the obstacles that would come in the path. So this methodology is the one where there needs certain modifications, certain adaptability to the new things. There would be faster feedback. Okay, so just give an example that if the plan one is not working, so I'll be like the plan one is not working in the correct direction, and I'll not be able to achieve my goal. So here where the agile methodology would come in and would be like this is not working, so let's move it to the other move it to the other part. So this is the methodology helping us to be evolving, be helping to be more flexible, and there is a scope of continuous improvement during this methodology. And the third one is the hybrid one. The hybrid is the blend of both waterfall and the agile one. Like I would just say, like it combines stability. Like waterfall is for stability, waterfall is for structured.
Excuse
And
me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry to disturb you.
yeah.
Can I describe again Agile again, ma'am?
Yeah, pardon please.
And the second, just now we completed before
Agile
hybrid,
one.
Agile,
Agile.
Agile. Please, describe again, ma'am.
I need to re-explain that. You were telling me to re-explain this one, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like this task, like you have got a vision. The previous example I would just only take, I just have a vision to have a 1 crore revenue in a month. Okay. So for once I've made a plan. So the plan is like I would be going for the off marketing. Like I would be going for the offline marketing. This is a plan one I have made, that I will be going to the place and I will be marketing about my product and will generate the revenue of 1 crore. So by the time I was just executing this plan, and I found like, yeah, this is not working. I'm not getting the desired result. I won't be able to achieve 1 crore revenue in this 1 month. So what I will be here, so I'll just ask my team member to help me draft a new strategy, that how can we just modify a plan and then can move forward again with this. So for the first time I've just like chosen one thing, that I would be just going door to door service for the marketing thing. And then secondly, there was certain modification. I just wanted that I'll be going with some print media as well for marketing my product. So this is where you're adapting to the new changes. If one plan doesn't work, you are moving forward with the second plans. You are having alternatives in your way. So this is the thing where agile takes place in, and you get the faster feedback in the agile methodologies. I think I'm clear. Or is there any question to the last learner who have asked me this question?
Yes, I guess it's clear, ma'am. You can go
Yeah.
ahead.
So then moving to the hybrid one. Hybrid is the mix of both waterfall and agile. There would be certain tasks would be where would be certain tasks would be structured. Like there would be certain tasks where this there would be having structured framework or a structure or a structured guidelines. So and this and on the second part there would be certain thing where there'd be agile, there would be complex, there would be they would require frequent modification. And like as in the current date, what we want ourselves to work is on the hybrid methodology, that for structured one we go for the waterfall strategies, and for the flexible or for the evolving task we go for the agile one. So these are the three kinds of different methodologies we can use to complete our task on an seamless basis, on a satisfactory basis. I do we have any other questions?
No, ma'am, I guess we are good to go. So,
Good.
learners, in the meanwhile, yes, thank you so much, Sachin, for clearing that. So, as we move ahead, I'm just going to quickly launch a poll to understand how we are finding the session so far, so that we can learn more about your opinion. In the meanwhile, ma'am, please go ahead with the next slide. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am, you can continue with the session.
Yeah.
We can take to the next slide. Thank you.
So next one is the choosing right methodology. So it's like the success of a project is often dependent on the choosing the right methodology. It's where we need to have a question on us that where we need to take forward with the start methodology. Like if your scope, like as in the previous slide, I explained where we can use waterfall. When our scope is fixed, our requirements are clear, stable, and they are not evolving. They are not changing during the execution. So here, where we waterfall can be used. And the second one, where we have a defined requirement. Like the requirement isn't changing day by day. The requirement isn't being add-on. There is no add-on to the requirement, or there is no elimination from the requirement. The waterfall can work well. And the third one is when the documentation compliance auditing requires comprehensive one. Like for certain kinds of a task, we require kind of great documentation. As an audit, you might all have been well versed with the audit terms. Like audit requires a good amount of documentation, good amount of compliance, good amount of regulatory framework that are being implemented through this audit task. So waterfall is a methodology. It can be used where we have clear, stable, and defined scope. And next to is where the documentations matters the more. If the documentation doesn't matters the more in the task, we can move forward with the agile one. So the next one, the agile, the opposite of the waterfall. If the scope changes day by day, or the scope changes week by week, so this is where the agile methodology can be used. And the evolving scope means like it's changed based on the learnings. Like we have been doing the task and we have learned something during the task execution and the market feedback. And where the agile would help us, that it will be helping us in faster modifications of our plan according to the evolving scope, according to the revised scope. And the next one is, if it's important to select the approach that aligns with the nature of project. For once, if we have started a project and we have like selected an approach, so like if it isn't working, the scope isn't working in the correct direction, so it will be like it requires certain modifications. So here where the agile would help us, that help us to speed as per the market requirement, and that would be more important than perfect upfront planning. And it would help us to plan better. The plan better word is a very good term, and it's a very vast term. So agile framework is the framework where the task required rapid modifications, rapid, I would say very fast execution, faster feedback. And in agile we do have some stakeholders feedback, like I would say certain decisions where you might be having your CFO, CEOs in your company, and there would be regular input, there would be regular watch by them, and they will be providing correct feedback and timely feedback. So agile methodology would help us to inculcate their feedbacks, inculcate their opinions into our planning framework. Do anyone have the questions here? Can put up in the chat box, and Charulata may just start with the questions. Then we'll be moving forward with the next slide.
No,
Do
is
we have any?
anything at all? Quickly. Okay. Thank you, Sachin. Lokesh. I think Sachin is, one of the most active learners in today's
Yeah,
session. And that's,
Sachin, even Mohammed Shahnawaz is also, Sakshi is even the active learner here.
yes, definitely. Yes. Thank you, Lokesh. I guess it's good to go, ma'am. We can move ahead with the next slide.
Now, Nick, let me take you all to the hybrid approach. This is the most important approach where we need to have our hands on. Like in the today world, in the today working environment, things aren't stable, things aren't like the same every day. We there are very fast changes, there are very fast feedbacks we'll be getting. Am I wrong here that we are not getting any feedbacks while working, or am I right here that we get the faster feedbacks? And everyone can put up their questions, put up their answers here, like do we get frequent feedbacks during our work executions? I just want everyone to put up yes or no, that do they get frequent feedbacks?
Yes, Mohammed says yes. Yes, Aditya says no. Okay. Lokesh, Nilesh, yes.
Aditya, may I know where are you working, or why don't you get frequent feedbacks on your work, or what kind of work profile are you working with? So this can be a good thing for our every learner, that they can just give you some they can give you some insights that why there are not frequent feedbacks, or even I can give you certain insights that why frequent feedbacks aren't in your organization. IT infrastructure, yeah, I don't think so that you might not be having frequent feedbacks from your teammates. uh can you just unmute yourself, Aditya, and just let me know.
Aditya, can you please raise your hand so that I can unmute you?
Aditya. Mohammed Shahnawaz has put it, I'm in an industrial construction project, and always I get
I
from CEO
think,
feedback. And there's one more question in the chat box. Which approach is adopted in pharmaceutical development project? It's not getting pharmaceutical development. Are you into some medicines development or something like this? Sunil, can you please just elaborate that what kind of pharmaceuticals? Uh, Charvita, can we just have
yes, ma'am.
questions again that he might be asking?
So, yeah, Sunil says yes, he's in medicine. I think
Yes.
Aditya is not here. Maybe it's because of some technical glitch. If
Hmm.
that is the case, we can move ahead, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, okay, in medicines. So I think Sunil, you might be having I would just say when the COVID came in, so you will be having certain feedbacks uh, during the. Were you involved in certain kind of heavy drugs or some heavy medications preparations or something like this? And as per my best knowledge, in pharmaceutical development project, hybrid approach would work more because you have because medicines. If you're in medicine development, that has to be every day has to be a feedback. There are continuous testing in your this era this industry. I think if I'm not wrong here.
I guess, ma'am, we can move ahead to the next slide since, we can
Yeah,
take
we are
the
running short
questions
of
by the end.
yeah we are running short of time as well. So like hybrid approach. It's like
Yes.
most modern organizations adopts a hybrid model because it gives the best of both the approaches. We use waterfall during the planning phase, defining scope, budget, timelines, and governance. And after that we use agile framework for the execution work, like working in a sprint, adapting quickly, modifying, learning continuously, and keeping stakeholders informed. So this combinations helps teams stay stable and flexible. With this approach, a team stays stable during the planning part and stays flexible during the execution part. And this helps an organization to achieve their goals, to achieve their vision in a very seamless, in a very good way, and every goal which they have decided for themselves gets achieved in a desired time frame. So this is where hybrid approach, and I would all request all the learners to be hybrid in their approaches to work, to plan, and to execute their task. Now it's like task classification for the better flow. So like you might all be like working like this, that you have a task, you do it, you don't classify it, don't like classify according that these are the routine tasks, or these are some important tasks, or these are the contingency tasks. So what here I just want to explain that every task cannot be a single kind of a task. There are different kinds of a task, and not every task has equal importance or equal bandwidth. So we need to classify the tasks according to their urgency, according to their importance, according to their capacity, and according to the strategic focus aligned with our goals. So treating the task as the same is often creates a confusion. When we classify the task according to the routine, strategic, and contingency task, we provide clarity. We get the clarity. So this is a routine task. This has to be done on a daily basis or a weekly basis. When we take a task as a strategic task, so it's a very high impact task. It's a high impact goal driven task, so we take it accordingly. So that the amount of time, the amount of efforts that has to be put into each kind of a task depends upon that categorization. A routine task require less of efforts because this is a routine task and you are used to that task and you have the hands-on practice to complete that task. But the strategic task requires more brainstorming, more efforts, more time. So this is where the task has to be classified according to the importance, according to their framework, according to their priorities. And the last one, we have this contingency task. Like there as we are into a very evolving world, and there might happen some contingency. You can just have some like any natural calamities due to which you need to do a certain task, or any kind of a human intervention, or any kind of a roids, strikes, anything, or any kind of contingency task, that if your revenue goes down suddenly, your one client goes, you have a one client who's having a revenue of 1 cr, and it's like, and suddenly that client vanishes off. So this task become an contingency task for you, that you need to fill in that 1 crore client again. You need to find the sources from where we can get 1 crore revenue, or we can replace the existing client. And if that client is gone, and you need to prep up that how can we get the client back. So this is a contingency task. Okay, so it's like the classifying the tasks to routine, strategic, and contingency. Teams get better control, get visibility. Routine task, it's other tasks which helps the business running. Strategic helps the business grow, and the contingency task requires quick action and risk management. So when we do classify our tasks accordingly, we help us to prioritize wisely and stay balanced during a task execution. And I would just mention my example. It's like you need to be what I do as myself as a professional. I just make my daily plans, I make my weekly plans, I make my monthly plans, I make my quarter plans, and I work accordingly. It's like I have my monthly plan, and accordingly I bifurcate into my weekly plan, and my weekly plan then get bifurcated to my daily plans. So this is where my planning helps me a lot. I think we do have any questions here?
No, ma'am, I think we are good to go.
So I would request every learner here to like have quarter plans, have a yearly plans, have a monthly plans. And if you want, I just can share with Charulata my monthly plan Excel sheet, so that uh, you can just inculcate in yourself. There is one person who wants me to
Yes,
explain again.
Abdut wants you to explain
Okay.
again.
So Abdul, it's like every task cannot be a same task. Tasks are of different category. Some tasks, like as in I would say, as an accountant, you are an accountant. Okay. So it's like for an accountant, a banking entry is a daily task. Okay. And for an accountant, a adjustment entry can be a monthly task or can be a weekly task. You might all if all of you are from finance profile, so you might also all be knowing that we have certain adjustment entries, we certain have some taxation accounting entries. So for us as an accountant, banking entry is a daily task, or and tax adjustment can be a monthly task or can be a year end task. So we need to specify that these are the routine tasks, this is a weekly task. And from I would just mention you my example. So I am working in a digital marketing company. So it's like we have a month services given to the client. Okay, so we have the invoicing to be done after the month end or at the month start. So this is my monthly task. Invoicing will be my monthly task. So what I plan the invoicing in one first to third of every month. So this is my monthly task. And daily task is my like I'm into finance, so I need to check the bank entries as well, that what all clients have made me the payments. So this is my daily task. And what my weekly task is, I have a leadership function here in my organization. We have a leadership call where we nurture leaders, where me as a leader get nurtured by my mentor leader. So it's like it's a weekly task. And strategic task is the one like we have been given to open a new venture, or we have been given a new product development. So this is a strategic task. Here it requires high impact, high high focus. So this is the strategic task. And contingency task is like there was a certain rate in there was certain GST audit department coming to my organization. So this is the contingency task. So this has to be done. So this is the way we categorize our task. I make my daily plans. I have an Excel where I make my daily plans. So these are the things I need to do in a day. And then next we have strategic tasks, that yearly task I make as a quarter plan or as an annual plan. And I would just mention one more thing here, that how my daily plan goes. In the morning, I start my work. I just note down what all things I need to do in my work, what all things have to be done in a day. And there are certain ad hoc tasks, as I mentioned, a contingency task. So it's like I have provided a spare time for myself during the day, that I can accommodate that contingency task as well. And by the EOD, what I do is I see that is this task done or not done, or work in progress or pending. So this is the proper tracking, this is the proper documentation, and this helps me do my work in a proper, seamless roadmap drafting way. So this is where I think planning makes me more work very efficiently and effectively. Can we move ahead with the next slide? If anyone
Yes,
do have any
definitely,
question.
ma'am.
Yeah. So it's now like prioritization tools. Every task cannot be a priority task. Every team faces too many tasks. There are not a single task. There are many tasks, and we have a little time. Everyone would be facing, yeah, this 8 hours of work is not enough. We are not able to complete a task during the 8 hours a day. So the planning takes place here, that it helps us to prioritize what all tasks are important to us, what I use as a priority framework. I use the wording as P0, P01, P02, P03. Like what all most important tasks, I just put it in the category of P0. So what I'll be doing the P0 task first, then I'll be moving forward with the P01 task, and then again to the P02, P03. So that's where the prioritization framework helps us. So we have different kinds of prioritization tools. I think you might all be well versed about this tool: Eisenhower matrix, Moscow method, and the rice scoring. Like Eisenhower matrix tells helps us to differentiate between what is urgent and what is important. Urgent means this has to be done right now, right way. Important is that this task has to be completed. This is the important task, and urgency and importance has a thin line of a gap between these two terms. There's a thin line of gap, urgent versus important. So Eisenhower matrix helps us to classify that which task is the urgent one and has to be done no matter what, and important help us to identify that this task is important for us to complete our day, or important for us to achieve our goal. So this is the Eisenhower matrix helps us. Then the next one is Moscow method. Moscow method implies must, should, could, and wouldn't, and won't. Sorry. So it categorizes the task by criticality, and it helps the team classify that what is the must-have task, and and what are the should task, and what should be the good task. So it helps us. Moscow method helps us to categorize on the basis of criticality, and it helps in managing the stakeholders expectation. Then the third prioritization tools which we do have is a rice scoring. That's reach, impact into confidence divided by effort. It's like it's bring objectivity by evaluating the reach, and how much reach do we have, how much this task have the impact on our overall goal, and how much do confidence do we have, and how much effort we can put in our task. It's this rice scoring is a quantitative approach. Like it's based on the potential reach we have the expected impact, we have how much confidence level we do have while executing the task, and how much required effort will be requiring while executing the task. So these are the three prioritization tools. The most commonly used one is the Eisenhower matrix. This is urgent versus important. So this is the thing we can discuss if we get a chance to interact again. We can discuss about the Eisenhower matrix and the Moscow method as well. Rice scoring one is like not at all. It's used, but it's not that much use friendly. Eisenhower matrix and the Moscow method is used very much during this prioritization framework. So if I do get a chance again, I'll just be having these two topics as my session. Next was the tracking and measuring success. It's like without tracking, you cannot achieve your goals. You need to track on a regular basis. You need to track on a continuous basis. Without tracking, you will be in a chaos. You will not be able to get to your desired result. And you need to measure your success as well. It's like measuring success is like I have completed 10% of my task. I have this task and I have completed my 10%. I have completed my 20%. So this is where it helps us. Okay, so and it even gives us the satisfaction that my 50% task is complete. Only I just need to have the 50% done more. So this is where planning helps. Planning also helps us in tracking the task. It helps us to measure the success, and even it even boosts up our confidence. So tracking is a very essential one, where it gets the task improved, gets the roadmap work improved. So there are three types of tracking measure. One is Kanban boards, the second one is Gantt charts, and the third one is KPI and OKRs. So Kanban board gives real-time visibility of task flow. So Kanban boards, it's a kind of a tracking tool which helps us to have a real time visibility of how our tasks are flowing, at what stage of work we are, and what are the bottlenecks, what are the loopholes. It is it is the tracking tool which helps the delivery team. The main execution team use the Kanban boards to track their work, to track their workflow. The next one is the Gantt charts. Gantt charts is the one like we when we have a complex project, we have a project, and so we map the timeline accordingly. That this is a project. The Let's say for example, we need to construct a house. So what are the first tasks we'll be having? We need to dig the I would just say a general word, that is a neve. We just dig the neve, and then we just start with the brickwork, and then we just do the plaster, and then we just do the finishing and electrical fitting, sanitary fitting. So the Gantt chart, that this brickwork has to be completed in 1 month. The finishing work has to be completed in 2 months, next 2 months. So this is where the Gantt chart helps. Gantt chart helps manage complex timelines and dependencies. So like every task cannot be done by a single person. There are various department doing, so like as in my industry, we are into digital marketing industries. We have social media management as well. We have SEO as well. We have GMV optimization as well. So not no single person can do all the tasks single-handedly. It requires teamwork, and it requires different individuals. So Gantt charts can be like that. For one team has to complete this task in 1 week. The second team has to complete the task in the second month, or the second week, or the third task has to be completed by the third person in the next coming week. So this is where the Gantt chart helps us to track that whether the task of the first team has been completed, or the second team has completed a task, or the task remains incomplete. So Gantt chart helps us the lot. The next one is KPI and ORX Connect, day-to-day work with the organization goal. So everyone would be having the key performance indicator in the organization, that these are your KPIs. This is your performance indicator. So this helps us to measure progress, outcomes, and business impact. It's like connects your daily work, daily task to a strategic objective. The strategic objective is the organizational objective, and the KPIs connects our daily work to those strategic objective. So these tool ensures transparencies, accountability, and timely correction. So tracking with the planning is the most important thing. Without tracking and without measuring success, your plans won't be able to achieve the desirable outcomes. Moving to the next slide, it's continuous learning and improvement. Like, as you all know, planning is not a single time event. It is an ongoing task. It requires continuous cycle of learning and refinement. So we have different kinds of learning approaches here. We need to conduct regular retrospectives. It's like regular retrospective helps us to reflect what went well and what didn't, like what task was able to be achieved and what task wasn't achieved. So regular retrospective learnings and improvement helps us that where we are lacking behind, where the resources are limited, or where there are scarce resources, helps us to identify where the gaps are. Secondly, identifying pattern allows us to improve recurring issues. Like we have issues while conducting and tasks. So identifying the patterns, that what all issues we can while executing, what didn't and what factors contributed to an outcome, determine what worked well. So this helps identify patterns, also helps us to improve our further plans. The third one is the documentation. You everyone knows that without documentation, without capturing all the insights in a documentation, no further plans can be made, because documentation helps us to frame a next plan. Documentation would be having all the pros as well, all the cons as well. So it helps us to make a plan way much better than our previous plan. And the next one is the build a culture. A culture of learning builds long-term competitive strength. It's like a planning helps us to build a similar culture, a single shared culture that values openness. We are here to experiment, and we are on a culture to have a continuous improvements, continuous feedbacks. So it's like good planning plus continuous learning is a sustainable success. Without a good planning and continuous learning and feedback, we cannot achieve our desired success. One second. Till then, we can have the questions.
Yes. So, learners, as we come to the end of this session, I request everyone to please ask as many questions as you want. In the meanwhile, I'm launching a poll to let you all know how, so that you can tell me how you felt about the session. I see a lot of comments in the chat box already. Yes, Bhushan, thank you for that. Yeah, ma'am is open for the questions. In the meanwhile, you can also fill out the forms if you want to be a speaker. And please go ahead with your questions. Ma'am, yeah.
If I have missed any one of her questions, they can just raise their hands, and I would be very open to answer them. Do we have any other questions?
So learners, if you have questions, Sabrinath has a question. Okay. I guess. Sabrinath, you want to ask a question? If yes, please raise your hand. If anybody wants to interact, ask questions related to anything at all, raise your hand. Ask as many questions as you want. Okay.
I'm sorry. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Hello. First of all, my heartily thanks for giving a lot of insight about the planning, the effective planning. That's really wonderful. I understand, of course, you also, trying making attempt with some tools, as you mentioned. The one reason I couldn't, I don't want, I'm not taking much of interaction today is traveling outside. Okay, so it will be a noise in the background, so which I don't want it
Yeah,
to
yeah.
become a source of disturbance to the other audience as well as the host and yourself.
Mhm.
So, but one important thing what I wanted to understand is, in fact, now you talked about this GAT CAN board and other planning activities and then the tools. Other than Primavera, what is your, experience on any other tools where you would recommend for us, of course, to make use of it for this planning
Yeah, Microsoft
effectively?
To Do. Microsoft To Do, I would recommend everyone to use Microsoft To Do list. It's a very
Okay,
good tool. It helps us prioritize. Everything is under visibility. I just myself don't go for Excel. I just use Microsoft To Do list. It's a very good
to-do
tool.
list.
To Do list.
Okay,
And the
okay.
track for the tracking one, you can have Gantt charts as well. Like when we like I'm a digital marketing company. It's like we
Yeah.
have different kinds of operations part. So we while drafting and contract, we have Gantt charts prepared for the clients. That's this task for you. The social media would be completed in this 1 month. The logo design would be completed in the second month. So this is
Hmm.
where Gantt chart helps us. And Ganboards
Okay,
is also a good
okay.
kind of tool. You can explore more of the Gantt charts. This is more user friendly
Gantt
as well.
charts. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Great,
And
great.
Kanban is also, and for their task planning, you can use Microsoft To Do List. It's a very good tool.
Hmm.
It helps. It's a very user friendly as well, and it's a very clear, visible to window, and helps us to track our task as well, map our timeline as well. Every minute of your day can be planned with a Microsoft To Do List. Anything else? Hey learners, do we have any other questions? I think Nirvikar Vishwakarma already mentioned uh, what you have already mentioned. Can I just have Amit? You have a question, and please share the
Yes.
PPT if possible. Charulata, I would
So,
just share.
ma'am,
Yeah.
yes,
Um.
before you move ahead with the, you know, question, I see a lot of people are asking questions here.
Yeah.
Just a moment. Yeah. So I have shared your LinkedIn profile in the
Yeah.
chat box. Okay.
Yeah.
People, please connect with ma'am. Ma'am will be sharing the PPT. Yes, I'll connect with her accordingly. And those who need, want to connect with ma'am can definitely reach out to ma'am and via LinkedIn and connect with her. Additionally, I think it was a very insightful session, and I think we all really loved how ma'am explained all the details, right? So, on that note, we would like to present a small certificate of appreciation for you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was nice.
So, these are your efforts, and these are all the efforts of our learners who brings us here in this platform to connect, to network, and to gain knowledge from each other,
Yeah.
you know. So we are very grateful for this session, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Yes,
much. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope I have given good wisdoms, good knowledge to everyone, and would be need to share more of my experience, more of my learnings, and more to pay forward to each and everyone here. I would ask Charulata to just have more sessions if we can have on leaderships and
definitely.
other things. Let us stay connected. You all can connect me with on my LinkedIn profile. You can just share my LinkedIn profile as Charulata has already shared my LinkedIn profile. Everyone
Yes,
can connect and put up their questions to me. I
yes.
would be also open to connect with them, to get their knowledge, to get their experience inculcated in me. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Tarudata. Thank you so much, Tripti, for this platform. It really means
Thank
a
you,
lot.
ma'am.
Thank
It
you so
means a
much.
lot to us and to all our learners as well. And I am pretty sure that for whatever knowledge we got, it was completely worth it. Right? Right, Rajesh? Like Rajesh says that your session was worth it. Absolutely. And I think all of us definitely agree to that statement. On this note, Ma'am, if you want, you can take a question and we can, conclude the session. Thank you.
Like after my session, I just wanted to ask that how many gonna be doing the planning from tomorrow, and how like do you will be doing quarterly, monthly, weekly planning? Yes, a simple yes or no. That are you all going to go with the planning part and then executing, or you'll be just going with the flow? Just a yes or no. And I just wanted to know your feedback after you do the work after planning. Just we can have a feedback form as well. That does this planning after the week? Can we have a feedback form here? That does the planning help them a
Definitely.
lot? So
Definitely.
this would be
Definitely,
a
ma'am.
great initiative, and even I would also get feedback that how my planning has helped these learners a lot. We can have different kinds of questions there in feedback that how did they plan and what helped them and what are the positive outcomes they found after the plan. So
Definitely.
this can be a great initiative, and like we'll be sharing general insights after getting all the feedbacks, and how if
Definitely.
we can share some testimonials as well. This can be helpful as well.
Definitely, ma'am. So I will be sharing a form, like ma'am said, in a week with all the learners, with all the attendees of this session, and you can share your opinion on that. So
Yeah,
on
sure.
that note, as we move forward, remember a good plan gives direction, a great plan gives confidence, and your
Mhm.
plan gives you power. So thank
Mhm.
you so much once again for joining a session, for joining us today. We look forward to having you in our upcoming Synergy Sphere session as well. Stay connected and keep, getting knowledge, keep sharing knowledge. Until then, plan smart, act with purpose, and keep moving forward. Very, very, very thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was great connecting with you. Let's explore more together. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'll be sharing all the details with you all. I'll be sharing the PPT with taking it from ma'am. I'll please connect with ma'am on LinkedIn, and yes, we'll be sharing the form as well. See you in the
Okay.
next session. Until then,
Thank you
take
so
care.
much. Bye bye.
Have a great day. Bye bye.